Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at the top 5 tanks to be released in Blitz in 2021. Now, as I always say, this is my personal opinion. Each and every one of you will probably have a different opinion, but that is absolutely fine. But this is going by my opinion and my favorite tanks that was released this year. First one, the Dreadnought. Now, this is such an underrated tank. If you got the Churchill gun carrier, this is basically the Churchill gun carrier on steroids. It's got great armor, it's got a great gun, the speed's okay, and it's got a house on top of it. Yes, it's got the house on top of it. That makes it all makes the difference. But honestly, this is the battle pass tank that come out, and when I first found out that Wargaming were doing a Churchill gun carrier replica, I was actually like, okay, really? But yeah, this is such a good tank. Look at that. We've bounced everything that has come our way so far. Yes, we are we're even bottom tier. But honestly, guys, if you manage to get this tank in the battle pass and you haven't played it yet, just go play it. Go play it. The traverse is really, really quick as well. People's tanks will still struggle to circle you. And in my opinion, it's one of the best battle pass tanks this year. Next up, we have the Maid, the M41 or the M41D. This is basically, again, one of the another Bulldogs. But I love this tank. It's a light tank. It's got great mobility. It's got a good gun. It's got great DPM. And I absolutely, really, really enjoy this tank. I absolutely love playing this tank. It's a fun tank. It was cheap. And it was released, I think, at the beginning of the year, either January or February. I think it was February time that this was released. But yeah, just like all the other Bulldogs, pretty decent. But this one is in tier 7. Of course, you have the German Bulldog, that's tier 8 with the nice HE. You have the T49, you have the normal Bulldog, and you have the Maid. The great tank. It looks good. I love the legendary camo. Is it the Jade, I think it's called? But overall, I honestly think this is a fantastic tank. It's got great the speed to get around the map, which you're going to see in a minute. We're just going to get these shots on the Chi 2 here, and you can see we're just absolutely tearing that guy apart with our DPM, all whilst being a one-shot as well. So I always say, if you're a one-shot, it's not game over until you're dead, and it's always go for the one shots. Don't just go for the damage. Or if you're in a big gun like a smasher or something like that, don't just ignore something on this much HP, because that can come around and bite you on the bum. And just look how quickly we are getting around this map. At one point we was to the left. We're going to get the kill here on the T-34-1, and then we're going to head on and carry on with our journey, and we're going to get there pretty quickly. So yeah, definitely the Maid was one of the best light tanks to come for sale in 2021. But let me know your thoughts on the Jade. Do you like the Jade? I honestly absolutely love the Jade, and it is one of my favorites to come this year. So next up, we have the 50 TP, the 50 TP prototype. Now, this is actually a very, very good tank. I didn't give it enough credit when I first released my video on this. In fact, I said, like, because it was a clan reward event, you can get this for free in the clan rewards. I honestly said, like, it's not that great because the Polish tech tree is coming out after this. It's not a great deal if you miss out on this tank. Now, the only reason it is a great tank, honestly, it's a fantastic tank for what it is, and especially considering it was a free tank and very, very easy to get. Now, I still say, and I still stand by my word, that this is probably one of the worst events that Wargaming have done, because they've done it wrong. You shouldn't have been able to play a tier 4 tank to get this tank. But overall, love the concept idea of it. Love the idea that you could get a tier 9 tank for free in a clan reward. But I just think the whole event, it was done wrongly on Wargaming's point of view. But, you know, it's still a good tank. It's still one of the tanks that you will take out for fun in Tier 9. It's not one of those tanks that you just play to ace or whatever. It is one of those tanks that you will play just to have a little bit of fun, and you can have fun. Absolutely amazing tank when it is top tier, and it can still perform when you're bottom tier. So definitely the 50 TP prototype is up there with the best tanks to come in, the best tanks to be released in 2021. That then brings me on to the next tank. Now this tank, I think it's well, it's a great tank. Of course, it is the M6 Yo. Now this is different to a lot of tanks out there because it had the intraclip, the double shell that does over 900 damage in around 1.7 seconds. Some people will call it overpowered. It's got a great turret, and of course with the alpha that you do, it's a fantastic tank. And definitely with the whole line that came with this tank, this is definitely up there with the best lines to come. People use it a lot. It's like I said, it's got the alpha. You can either use it with the 2 shell or the 3 shell, and honestly it's one of the only tanks in tier 10 that you can decide which gun you use, and it has 2 guns. Of course you've got the E100 that has 2 guns, but as we know that the stock E100 gun is pretty much just a mouse gun and not that good, whereas this, both of these guns are equally as good. They are fantastic guns. I honestly prefer the 2 shell autoloader because dealing 900 damage, you can see there 461, and then we're just going to kill him off. And yes, we're on a big reload, but you've got a turret. If you hold down, then you will bounce shots regardless. We've only bounced, I mean, 420. We haven't bounced a massive amount of damage this game, but we managed to easily pull off pretty much 3.5k damage. We're going to get the kill here on the new Concept 1B. Next up, we're going to look at the 60 TP, and again, just like a few of the other tanks, this tank is very, very good. If you watch the Blitz Cup, there was a lot of 60 TPs out there, and it's a fantastic tank. If you're in a hold down position, not many people can deal with you. Of course, it is basically a better E100, which you're going to struggle to penetrate if you are in a hold down, but of course you have the tungsten shell as well, which makes your tank or your alpha even more every shot you do whilst the tungsten shell is running. Of course you can only use it a few times every so often, but still I think in a hold down position it's a fantastic tank. It can deal damage, and it's a fun tank to play. It really is a fun tank to play. The armor profile is very, very good. Even the hull is very, very good, and you can do a lot of damage in this tank. Now you're going to see, we're going to come up against the 60 TP in a moment, and you're going to see the armor profile of the tank. You can comfortably bounce shots. Definitely you need to get in the hold down position, because that is where this tank really, really shines. And you can see, I mean, he comes out sideways, which gives us an easy pen. But yeah, you can see just the armor profile. I think we're going to have a look again in a moment, but we need to deal with this AMX 31ER because we really don't want him circling us. And you can see nice easy bounce there. We do manage to get rid of him, but of course because we are side on to the 60 TP, he does penetrate us. Now the 60 TP has probably overtaken the IS-7 with the easiest tank to ammo rack. If you would have watched the Blitz Cup, you'd have seen that there were loads of ammo racks in the 60 TP. It has a very, very weak ammo rack, but all the pluses is definitely outweighs the negatives, and really the only negative thing about this tank is that ammo rack. So yeah, definitely a fun tank to play. Definitely I would recommend grinding it if you haven't grinded it already. The whole line is pretty decent if I'm honest, but definitely the top of the line, the 60 TP, is one of the best tanks to come in 2021. I didn't add things like the Concept 1B because it come late in the year, and I don't really want to add these tanks because some people are calling it broken. Not a lot of people can get the tank because they have to spend a lot of money. I just wanted to add in this list tanks that were quite easy to get I didn't want to just add super broken tanks or OP tanks that no one can get or anything like that. So most of my tanks are sort of the tech tree, and of course the 50 TP was an easy tank to get, and the maid was very cheap as well. So that brings me to the end of the video. What was your favorite tanks that was released in this year? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for the year that you guys have given me. It's been a hard year. It has been a hard year, and let's hope next year is just as good. I'm meadsy69, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.